Hello again. I've decided to do a video on my white lifelink deck. Now, everyone that plays Magic eventually tries to do a life gain deck because it just seems the only way to win a game is to have lots of life. And it doesn't always work that way, but what I've tried to do in this deck is combine creatures that use lifelink to their advantage, not just by giving life. That's just like a byproduct. And all these cards trigger one another so that they get bigger, or they can, begin to fly, or whatever they do. And then I've got multiple utility cards that allow me to basically push my lifelink agenda throughout the game. So we'll start off with the basic trigger of the card. You're hoping to start with a Soul Warden or Soul Attendant, both 1-drops. They basically do exactly the same thing. They're 1/1, they're not going to do any blocking, they're just there. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Exactly the same text, different cards. So that's why they're both in there. They play a creature, you're going to get 1 life. You play a creature, you're going to get 1 life. Which plays nicely into these two cards. Master of Sands, again for 1 mana, and Ajani's Pridemate for 2 mana. So, turn 1 you wish to play one of these two soul creature clerics, and then you played in turn 2 Ajani's Pridemate. Although it would come out as a 2/2, whenever you gain life, you may put a 1/1 counter on Ajani's Pridemate. So, you play this creature, this then triggers. You gain 1 life, and that puts a 1/1 on this creature. So by turn 3, if you was to play Master of the Sands, you can pay 1 life and reveal X white cards from your hand and sacrifice Master of Sands. You gain 3 times that life. So simply all you'd have to do was to show 3 or 4 cards from your hand, maybe a land or a utility card, or perhaps not a Planeswalker, but maybe something that they're assuming you have. You're going to gain 3 life for each one of those cards. You just gained 9 life. And you played a creature, so that triggered, so you've got 10 life, and you got a 1/1 on this. So by turn 3, you're going to have a 4/4 cat, basically, and you can have over 30 life. So you had a Serra Ascendant hand, again for 1 mana. It has lifelink, it's a 1/1, but as long as you can have 30 or more life, Serra Ascendant gets a +5/+5, and has flight. So that's going to come out as a 6/6 fly, and don't forget it's then going to trigger that, which then gives you 1 life and gives that +1/+1. So they're all going to affect each other. If you start off with a combination of a Soul Ascendant or a Soul Warden with Master of Sands, Ajani's Pridemate, or draw into a Serra Ascendant, you're going to get a really quick, fast turn. Maybe a few red decks are going to trigger and kill a couple of these, but the one colour out there with maybe a little bit of blue. But this is going to get you lots and lots of life. And we've got 4 everything apart from Serra Ascendant, which I will try and get a 4th one. And with these mechanics working, if there was to stall for a turn, or you've just got 1 out and you've played a creature and it's triggered without you having to play one of these, then these type of cards come into play. So we'll start off here, Rest for the Weary, 2 mana. Played a land this turn, instead of gaining 4 life, you now gain 8. That gets you to that 30 quickly, which is what you want. I've got 4 of them, and I have 3 survival cachet. So, you gain 2 life, then if you have more life than your opponent, which, let's be honest, you're given it's a life gain deck, you're going to then draw a card. Then it has Rebound. If you cast this spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying it. So basically, to do it again, you have 2 life and you gain a card, which is really, really good. So it's going to get these cards are going to help you get to the 30 barrier quickly and allow you to be swinging in with a 6/6 flying lifelink. So potentially, every time you're gaining life with these cards, Ajani's Pridemate's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And someone's going to let a 2/2 cat come out with no problem. Okay, maybe you play a few spells and get 3 or 4, I'll deal with it when I can. It gets big really quickly, trust me. Then I added this card in, Dazzling Reflection. To 2 mana, you gain life equal to target creature creature's power. The next time that creature will deal damage this turn, prevent that damage. There's no reason why you can't do it on your spells, but especially if they play a card that you just can't affect, especially if a death touch creature, you can prevent that for one turn and gain a little bit of life. But I have played this on one of my Ajani Pridemates just to get like 8 or 9 health to trigger other abilities. I have over here, I have a few, let me just move these over there. I have a couple of enchantments, and you'll see why in a second. Builder's Blessings, 4 mana, for untapped creatures you get +0/+2. So it's going to buff everything that comes out thereafter. Gives it a little bit more defense. It's a good white utility card. Cool creature. You got Intangible Virtue. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. That's really handy. As you'll see later on one of the cards I've got, that those two enchantments work really well together. And you've got Path of Bravery. Combatant with Soul Ascendant, Sarah Ascendant, sorry. As long as your life total is greater or equal to your starting life, creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, you gain life equal to the number of attacking creatures. It's a pretty good card. So as long as your life total is greater than or equal to your starting life, so with this, 23, 24, whatever, creatures you control get +1/+1. And then whenever one or more creatures you control attack, you gain life to that. It's just a crazy card, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Really nice. I like those enchantments. When I put them in there, I didn't think they would technically work well with the deck, but they really do. And it's one of those points in Magic where you just think, I'm glad I've done that. It's always worth losing a game and trying something, but when it works really, really well. And I put this card in here, Call the Gatewatch. 3 mana, you can search your library for a Planeswalker card, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle your library. Now I put that in there just in case I wasn't actually drawing one of the 4 Planeswalkers that I have put in this deck. Now I've put Gideon, Champion of Justice, which is a very, very, very good card. Basically the mega is -15, which stands a lot when you start on 4, but the +1 is put a loyalty counter on Gideon for each creature a target opponent controls. So it could have 5, you could then put 5 on that, so you can see how it works. And the 0 ability is it just becomes a massive whatever creature, depending on how much your token is. So if it was a 5/5 or a 6/6 or 7/7, it becomes an indestructible human soldier, power and toughness equal to the number of loyalty counters on him. I think it gets really good. I think he's a little bit unsung, this particular Gideon. I really, really like him. And then if you do get the ultimate, it's exile all other opponents, leaving just him to, kick the crap out of your opponent while he's trying to recover. That's a really good Planeswalker. Then I have Ajani Call of the Pride, 3 mana. You basically just put a 1/1 counter or something. It's pretty good if you just want to keep one of these alive. Just keep them up to a 2/2 so you can start blocking with them. Or one of these creatures to get them bigger. You can give the creature flying and double strike. And then you can put X 2/2 white cat creature tokens on the battlefield, where X is your life total. And there's a reason why that's in there, because my life total should be quite high. Then I've got Elspeth Tyrell, I think it's pronounced, Tyrell, 5 mana. You gain 1 life for each creature you control. Again, it's going to trigger those Ajani Pridemates. -2, you put 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield. Don't forget, it's 3 creatures, each going to trigger, 1, 2, 3. I've had both of these out before, in some order. So you're going to get 3 life and 3 life, which then means it's going to add 1, add 1, add 1. And on the stack, it means you're going to add like +3/+3 to these cards. Very good. And -5, which you can do next turn, which would be destroy all the permanents except for lands and tokens, which also you're generating. So that's a really good card. And the last one is Ajani Goldmane, 4 mana, +1 you gain 2 life. -1 is put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance, so you don't have to tap them when you attack. They just stay like this. They can just attack and block next turn. And -6, put a white avatar creature token on the battlefield. It has this creature's power and toughness are each equal to your life total. Again, playing with the life total thing. So if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Elspeth would be the Planeswalker I'd want to draw, just because of the token ability. So that's the deck so far. You know the mechanic of the creatures, you know how the complementary of spells work, but even with the Planeswalkers, I don't think there's win conditions in there. I have Emerald of Skyrim, which basically means at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 7 or more planes, you may return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it just makes you cycle from the graveyard, which is quite weird for a white card, but it's a really nice picture. Pretty cool. But these are the cards I'd consider as win conditions. I'll go through them one at a time. The first one is Martial Coup. 2 white, and you just tap as much mana as you can. And you're going to put as many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield. And if you paid basically 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Now the thing is, if this was in play, you're going to get +1/+1 and no vigilance and everything. And the thing is, if this was on play, you're basically going to just give creatures a 1/3 before they even come out. So everything's just going to be a 2/4 or whatever the math is, which is pretty cool. So that, if you get enough of them out, it's a big difference. You don't launch the fleet. It's a weird spell, but basically, launch the fleet costs 1 mana to cast to each target beyond the first, which costs 1. So until end of turn, any number of target creatures each game, whenever this soldier attacks, put a 1/1 white soldier creature token on the battlefield. Now if you want to tap and attack everything and you just played one of these spells, you could just double the spell on the next turn and get that many 1/1 soldiers again. So like a cheaper version of Martial Coup. I really like playing that. And it looks like some sort of picture from like Troy or something. It looks awesome, or the Vikings. It looks quality. Another spell I've got here is White Sun Zenith. 3 mana and X, but you get a 2/2 cats. Basically, when you play this, it gets put in your on the battlefield. Shuffle White Sun Zenith into its owner's library, so you get to play it again at some point later. It's a good card, and you get a load of 2/2 cats. Again, each time you play all those 1/1s, you're going to be getting a load of health, which is going to make stuff like that bigger. So then there's this one, Increasing Devotion. Just flat out 5 mana and you get 5 1/1 human creature tokens. But it goes to the graveyard and put 10 of those tokens on the battlefield if the devotion was cast from the graveyard. So you put 5 on the battlefield, it goes into the graveyard, and then you're going to play the flashback cost, which was playing for the graveyard, and then that means you get 10. So say you had the 9 mana and you just played it late, you could get 5 on turn and then 10 on the next turn, which if you've got, as I say, any of these, it's going to trigger 10 times. You're going to get a +10/+10 token on that. So they're my win condition cards. This is a wingy deck. Loads of small creatures that just can be buffed and attack. Yeah, it might take out a 1/1. Okay, I'll put 5 more on there. So it's quite a cool deck. I enjoy playing it. I want to know what you guys think. If I should keep some of the spells in there or rotate some of them out. But I'd just like to know if you think that, you know, sort of how would you like to play against that deck? Would you fear this deck? Would you think, you know what, my black deck could do this or do that? Let me know what you think, because I'd always like to try and better my chances of winning or just enjoying the game itself. So much appreciated. And if you get a chance, try and watch some of the other videos I put on there. Okay, and thank you.